In this video, we're going to use Minitab Express to test a hypothesis about a proportion. We're going to do this homework problem as an example. It says, suppose a recent random sample of employees nationwide who have a 401k found that 18% of them had borrowed against it in the last year. A random sample of 95 employees from a local company who have a 401k found that 14 had borrowed from their plan. Based on the sample results, is it possible to conclude at the alpha equals 0.10 level of significance that the local company had a lower proportion of borrowers from its 401k retirement plan than the 18% reported nationwide? So first we're going to identify our null and alternative hypotheses. I want to know if the local company had a lower proportion of borrowers than 18%. So that means that my alternative hypothesis is that P is less than 18% because it's lower than. So my alternative hypothesis is P is less than 0.18, which means that my null hypothesis will be that P is greater than or equal to 0.18. Now I want to find the test statistic, and I need to perform the test using a normal approximation. So let's go to Minitab. We're going to go to one sample proportion and change this from sample data in a column to summarized data. Now my number of events is going to be the 14 out of the 95 people who had borrowed from their plan. So my number of trials is 95. Then I'm going to check the perform hypothesis test box. My hypothesized proportion is 0.18. That's the proportion from my alternative hypothesis. Then I need to click on Options. I need to change the method from exact to normal approximation. And I need to change the alternative hypothesis box to match my alternative hypothesis. In this case, it's that the proportion is less than the hypothesized value. Then I click OK, and here's my results. I need to scroll down to the test box. I have my z-value and my p-value. My z-value is negative 0.83. That's my test statistic. And my p-value is 0.204. In this case, I'm rounding to 3 decimal places. So now let's state our conclusion. This p-value is not less than alpha. It's greater than alpha. My alpha is 0.10. So that means that I cannot reject the null hypothesis, which means that I do not have sufficient evidence to conclude that the population proportion of employees from the local company who borrowed against their 401k in the last year is less than 0.18, because that's what my alternative hypothesis was.